just a little bit. So
Yeah. Nice. Okay, this is all apical, so I should probably have you lift your arm a little bit more, and then I don't think I'll need this out. I feel like I've been back and forth between wanting it out, but I'll let you know. So we'll start here. I just go up under the tissue. Let's see, where's the apical? No, I know you have a really beautiful one. I haven't scanned you, I don't think. Not really. Oh my gosh.
I get so jealous.
I don't know, this could be hard.
I know. I get so jealous. I'm like, damn.
I'm gonna scan you.
Perfect. 2 seconds later, there it is. I'm like 20 minutes later.
All right, so maybe lean forward just a tiny bit more. Yeah, I like that. That's great. See how that brought it in even better? That lean forward.
Yeah.
How nice is that? All right, so first of all, I'm just gonna take a 2D moving image. That's our first picture. Is it prospective or retrospective? I'm just gonna check to see if this is seeming prospective, or retrospective, which is what we've had the whole time. Just wanted to double check.
You
Okay.
only want 2 beats?
Yep, just 2 beats, and you can always change how many beats you capture. Two. Is it on here? Beats. So to get to beats, if you want to increase the number of beats that you're taking, what you would do if you're in an arrhythmia, if the person's in AFib, you would take like 3 to 5 beats. You could go to the next page just on your 2D home, and you can change the number of beats down here. We're just gonna keep it at 2. Okay, so I've done that. Oh, I'm in res. Wow, that's crazy. All right, I'm gonna take another one. And then I'm gonna decrease the depth on the left ventricle. I'm gonna focus nice on it. And I'm gonna narrow my sector width. Looks really good.
You wouldn't narrow it more than that.
No, I don't think so. Because if I do that, I mean, I could narrow it a little bit more, but I don't really need to. My frame rate and everything is looking really beautiful. I'm gonna take another one. Now I'm going to freeze and scroll back to make sure I have a really good end diastole and end systole. This is my end diastole. This is my end systole. We're gonna do a Simpsons. Let me remember this one. So I'm gonna freeze it, go into my measurement package. It's gonna be in calc for this one. EFs and volumes, Simpsons. We're gonna start out right up here, apical 4 chamber, diastole. That little D, anytime you see that, is gonna be diastole, and that little S at the end of the measurement is gonna be systole. So diastole. This is the one where you put it at the mitral annulus points. Put it here and here. And then I'm gonna bring it up to the apex. I might have to adjust it. I'm gonna adjust this to be out here. Again, this is kind of an ambiguous measurement, so if you guys don't get it exactly, that's okay. We're still working on knowing where the endocardial border is. I'm being really picky with it. Okay, I like this. I'm gonna take a picture of it, but a frozen picture since it's frozen. Print. And then I'm going to get my pointer out of the way, because right now if I scroll my trackball, it's just my pointer. And then I'm going to scroll forward in the same cycle to end systole. Right there. Go back into my calc package, and then apical 4 chamber systole. And I'll do the same thing here. Adjust all my points. Actually might bring this down a little bit. I'm liking that. So I'm gonna take a print of it, and then I can go out of my calc package and out of this picture entirely because I'm gonna move on. So I'll go back to my normal depth, show the whole heart, increase my sector width just a little bit. My next focus is gonna be the mitral valve. So I'm gonna put color on the mitral valve now.
Why zoom out for that?
Well, because we want to see into the atrium to see if there's any mitral regurgitation. That's what we use color for.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so if I were to have my depth all the way up here, I wouldn't be able to see if there's any regurgitation. So, decrease my depth, and then my box position is going to be over the left atrium. Now look, you can see pulmonary vein flow down there. You see the pulmonary veins? One right there, one right there. Yep. See that red flush? So I'm going to take just a moving picture with color. 1, 2. And then I'm going to use continuous wave through the mitral valve. So you guys are going to do something not necessarily new to you, but we're going to focus on a new part of the continuous wave. So I'm going to put the continuous wave through the mitral valve, update. Now, normally we're looking below the baseline for any mitral regurgitation, but today I want you to start your focus on above the baseline. This is mitral valve inflow. We usually look at mitral valve inflow with pulse wave to look at our E and our A wave. It's the same here, it's just continuous wave, so it's showing us the highest velocity. Bless you. Showing us the highest velocity through the mitral valve. So the things that I'm doing right now, I'm just being really picky, and I'm adjusting my baseline, I'm adjusting my scale.
Oh, your wall filter. a
My
little bit.
wall filter I'm going to change to, yeah, decrease it. Actually not so sure that I love that. Let's see. I'm going to decrease my continuous wave gains. It's really noisy. Okay, I really like these. Yeah, so it's just your normal E and A wave.
Had a big
There's the B.
The B-bomb! So I'm going to scroll back. I like, so you guys can see there's a little normal with inspiration for your E and A to kind of equalize. Inspiration and expiration in normal, healthy
Wow.
young people can kind of equalize those. So I'm going to focus on these ones, and then I'm going to end up tracing the VTI, the velocity time integral of one of the inflows. We're asked to do that for the final. We haven't done that before. It's kind of fun. It's going to be under the mitral valve calc-tev. It's going to be the first one, mitral valve VTI. Mitral valve VTI. VTI stands for velocity time integral. So I'm just going to start at the baseline, and then this one is going to be a trace where you have to get your trackball, get right with your trackball. You're just going to go all the way around the signal and then bring it back down to the baseline. Ta-da!
So you're not following that B,
I am not. This, you mean?
whatever that is.
Yeah, I'm
You're not following that.
No. I don't believe that that's true. Or maybe do this, but that's what I think. And so you can click either the kidney beans. I usually don't click anything once I know I'm at the end of the measurement. All I do is click print, and then it'll save it for me. Because I feel skeptical of these kidney beans. I feel like I don't know. Sometimes they do something weird. Do you know what I mean? by that?
Yeah, they'll click on
Yeah.
something and they give you another calculation like, oh.
Yes, exactly.
So I see max PG. Is that pressure gradient?
It is,
And
yep.
and why is that? That feels low to me.
It is. No, it's low. It's normal for it to be low. Yeah.
Between the atrium and the ventricle, it's supposed to be low.
Yeah. This is just mitral valve flow. Yeah. This is just the pressure gradient of the mitral valve inflow. Yeah. It's normal for the velocities in this to be
It's relative.
pretty low.
Yeah.
Yeah, relatively. You'll learn more about pressure gradients and normals in next term. I'll make sure that you have a little bit more reference for that. But that is a normal mitral valve mean and max pressure
I'm
gradient.
assuming you'd have a higher pressure gradient, maybe for like the aortic valve.
Yes, you would. Yeah, a little bit, but it's still normal for it to be low.
Okay.
For flow. So in what case would you have this be higher? When do you think you would see it be higher?
You said it was a little bit of hypertension.
Hypertension, yeah. If you had mitral valve stenosis, so if this were moving through at a higher velocity, it would cause a higher pressure gradient. Yeah, that was the question I was hoping to have you get. Okay, so we did that part. We're moving on from that. We're gonna now do pulse wave of the mitral valve leaflet tips, which we've done a bunch of different times. So I'm gonna put my sample volume right there. You don't have to change the gate or anything. I'm making sure it's nice and lined up, almost zero. I will update, and then I'm gonna decrease my baseline, decrease my scale so my signal's bigger. Wall filter is feeling appropriate. I'm gonna decrease the gains on the I like that. Okay, so these three are my measure ones. I'm going to measure this one right here, actually. I want one that doesn't have a fuzzy A wave. Because you see how we've got, yeah, every third one is kind of like that with inspiration. It's just like the rate that she's breathing normally. Yeah, I would say I like this one. I believe this one. Okay, so I'm going to go into my calc package. I'm going to go back to my mitral valve, and now I'm going to do EA down here. I'm just going to measure just the same thing that we always have. That's what we're doing, right? EA decel time. E. A. cell time. Bring it to the baseline. There we go. Print. And then we're going to move on to tissue Doppler. So that is also a pulse wave function, but we have to turn on tissue Doppler first, then to show that we're sampling velocity of the myocardium instead. So now we'll go back to pulse wave. I'm going to put my sample gate right here at the mitral annulus. I like to start on the lateral side. It doesn't matter if you do this before the septal. I'll update it, and it's really pretty. I'm going to increase my scale a little bit just so that I can see everything below or above the baseline. And I like to increase my pulse wave gains here because they were pretty low before. Ooh, I got a little artifact there. All right, I really like this. I'm going to freeze and then go into catalog package again. And now I have my own tab for tissue Doppler imaging, TDI. Some machines it'll say TVI, that's just tissue velocity imaging or tissue Doppler imaging. Now I will go to my lateral E prime velocity and just put a little caliper where the E prime is. Print. And then if I freeze and update my image, I can just drag this over to the medial annulus since that's going to be my next step. If you feel like you've lost your image, you can come back out and get it, obviously. But I like to do that. It's looking really beautiful. I'm just going to do the same thing here. So scroll back, show 3, calc, medial this time, and I'm going to put it right here and take a picture of it. Frozen picture again since it's frozen on the screen. Okay, that's all for tissue Doppler. So I'm going to come out and just be a 2D picture now. Now I'm going to increase my depth just a little bit and zoom in on the left atrium. So it's going to be zoom box for this one. I want my zoom box to encompass everything, but not be too close to it, not be too far away. Zoom in. I'm going to take a moving picture first to show what I'm looking at, and then I'm going to freeze that moving picture and take a left atrial volume. Okay. So I took my moving picture, and I'm going to scroll back to a really good end systole, because we want to measure this when it's its largest. I like this. So I'm going to go into my calc package. I'm going to go into EF and volume, and it should be here, LA volume. We only take one measurement of this. So for here, we take it at end diastole and end systole. We just take end systole, and you get a little cheat code here, systole. It shows you on the machine.
And is that true for like when you do like a clinical do
Yeah.
a real echo? You just do diastole.
Just do.
I'm sorry,
systole.
systole.
Yeah.
Would you ever do end diastole for any reason?
I don't think you would ever like. I wouldn't say never, but I can't think of a good reason why you would do it. I challenge you in clinic, if you see a echo do that, we can talk about like maybe the applications of that. But yeah, I wouldn't really do that. Now I'm not measuring down here because I think that this is pulmonary veins. Everyone has really differing opinions about LA volume measurements, but I'm going to trace and then go all the way back up. And then once I pause for a little bit, it'll connect that for me. I'm just going to print this. Now, dang it didn't save. Okay, well I lied, I guess, to you guys about the print button because that one didn't work. That one
I wonder
I
if it's
should have
'cause you didn't
completed it.
click.
Yeah, it's probably because I didn't click. I normally don't click, but that measurement needs you to click it on this machine, so my bad. Okay, I'll click it. And then, oh, that's why. It's because the measurement's not finished, because I get a left atrial. I was going to tell you guys this. This is going to be your length from your mitral annulus to the bottom of your, or the top, I guess, technically, but the bottom of our screen. I'm just going to put it right at the peak of this bullet shape. And then now I can print and it'll save. But it didn't have me do that last step, so. I don't think that those machines have the left atrial length, so don't worry about it if you don't get that option. You can, if you're feeling super ambitious, you can just do a caliper on it. But
Could that be like an indication that a patient has like a hypertension if they have a dilated left atrium, but maybe not a dilated left ventricle? Like it's like the first sign of it, maybe like an acute.
I like your thought process, yeah.
Hypertension or.
Yes, yeah, because that dilation happens. The dilation usually happens in like a chronic issue more so than a acute issue.
Really?
Yeah, the dilation happens over time to accommodate for increased volume and pressure, whereas in an acute issue, you would have kind of the same size left atrium, but really high pressure in there. Yeah,
Okay.
because it wouldn't have had time to accommodate for it. Okay, so I'm going to go out of my Zoom because we did our LA measurement. Now we're going to do a little RV focus. So to do that, I'm just going to kind of, watch what I do with my probe here. I'm just going to kind of rock like that, because you know how you rock the tail to swing in and out right and left on your screen. That little rock centers my RV. I'm doing that to focus on it. I'm also going to narrow my sector width and go down my depth. I'm going to take a moving image to show that I'm focusing on the right side. Increase my gains just a little bit, brighten it up in here. Take another picture. And now I'm going to put color on the tricuspid valve. Take a moving picture. I'm going to take another one because I'm not sure that my box moved. And then I'm going to use continuous wave to look for tricuspid regurgitation.
Is there a little bit there?
Just a little bit. Yep. Very normal to have like a whiff, a tiny.
Yeah.
That's minimal or like negligible TR, but yeah.
You feel
So
a little
what
bit.
I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, oh come on.
Oops.
I know, it does that all the time, unfortunately. I'm going to put my continuous wave. I'm going to keep color on because I see a little jet that I'm going to sample. So in this case, it's helpful to have that little jet so that I can sample it. I'm going to put my continuous wave through it, update, and then I'm looking for TR. So why can't I see anything? It's because I'm looking for it below the baseline. So I'm going to now increase my skip, increase my continuous wave gain. I'm going to update and see if I'm still chasing that jet. If I can still see it. Update again. It's such a whiff that it's going to be hard to even see on the Doppler. Now, if we were to have that one picture at the end of our slide where it was just massive tricuspid regurgitation, there's no way you could miss it. But we really don't have any, so. I'm just going to take a picture and show this. So your frozen image, just show where you would look for it. Oops, I took a moving image. Capture is the moving image, print is frozen. Okay, now.
It's not that?
It is that, but
okay.
yeah, it's not really measurable because it's not like a complete.
Oh, I
If
see.
I were to put a caliper on it, I would say, but it's not a complete envelope. So, yeah. So now I'm gonna come back to 2D, and I'm going to do TAPSY. So, does anybody remember what modality we use? I guess it's on there, but it's not a trick question. We use M mode to get TAPSY. TAPSY is tricuspid annular plane systolic extursion. So it's just basically saying how much the tricuspid annulus moves in systole. So it's a measurement of RV systolic function. M mode, I'm going to put my line through this annulus so that it crosses over right there. And then I'm going to update. Yeah, and I'm actually going to change my sweep speed so it's going a little faster and I can measure it a little bit better. Ooh, love. Okay. All of these are really good. So then what I'm going to do to measure this, I'm going to take, oh gosh, I think it's in the color package actually, tricuspid valve. No. No. Okay. That's all right. Do we have it in here? I remember having a hard time finding this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a caliper and I'm going to measure from, I'm going to follow the same line. So actually this one is the best one. So I'm going to go like this and then I'm going to follow this line as it goes up in systole. It ends right there. That's its peak. So I'm going to try to put my thing to line up there. I really don't like this method of measuring because I just have to hope that that's aligned. There is a much better way. I just went with caliper. Okay. Yeah. What I can do here is I can print this, and then how about this? How about I try to do distance? I didn't know that there's really a good time slope. Oh my gosh, this might be it. Yes! Okay. And I'm going from this line to this line. That's what I'm doing.
What did you get that?
I pressed time slope. I just wanted to show you where to put the points. I'm not sure that that's the best calculation because it's calculating time and slope rather than distance, but I wanted to show you where to put the points. I put the distance, yeah, but that was from my original measurement. Yeah. It's not really the best, but you should normally have an actual thing in your measurement package for that. Okay, so now I'm going to increase my sector width again, come back to normal orientation because I think that's all we do for focus on the RV. So now I'm going to do a little anterior tilt. It's so small, you guys. I'm putting the probe face, I'm shining the beam a little bit more anterior. So the tail is coming toward my wrist. And now I'm opening up that aortic valve. So the first thing I'm going to do here is just take a moving picture to show where I am. Took a lot. Okay, I've got my aortic valve open, and now I'm going to zoom in on the aortic valve. Take a look at it closer. And I'm going to take just a really nice moving picture of that. 2. And then with zoom still on, I'm going to put color there. I have to increase my 2D gains whenever I put on color because I just feel like it gets so dark. But that color with zoom shows really, really well that flow through the aortic valve. And then I can come out of zoom and out of color to use continuous wave through there just to make sure that I'm really nice and aligned. So now I'm going to put my continuous wave through the aortic valve. Make sure you're kind of nice and straight up and down as best as you can. And we're just going to look at forward flow through that aortic valve. So I'm going to increase my scale, or decrease my scale, increase my signal. Wait for 3 really good ones. I love all of those. You can see 3 really good valve clicks. And now what we're going to do is we're going to trace a VTI of aortic valve inflow. So we're going to see that exact pressure gradient. I'll go to my calc package. Oops. Calc package. Aortic valve. It's already selected. AV-VTI. Help me out. AVA-VTI. AV-VTI. I'm just going to start at the baseline. Trace all of it. I do think that these little fringes are just kind of fuzz. I'm not going to trace that. Ta-da! I'm going to take a picture. Now our max pressure gradient is 5, mean is 3, a little bit higher than the mitral valve because we can make sense of that, but still nice and low. So now I'm going to come out of this entirely and we're going to do a pulse wave at the LVOT. So it's going to be kind of the same area that we're sampling, but we're going to go right before the valve opens. So what side of the aortic valve? Is it on the aorta side or the LV side?
LV side.
LV side. Good job. Gotta lift my baseline up because we're looking below the baseline. Gonna increase my scale. Oh my God, so pretty. You cry. Beautiful. I like the middle one. Calc. It's going to now be your LVOT VTI, which is right. It lives right above this. It's in the same area. I don't know why. I feel like aesthetic preference-wise, I try to center the one that I'm planning on measuring, just as long as my box is not in the way. It's very annoying. It happens all the time. You can move the box, but now I'm gonna click a kidney bean. Okay. I stopped there. Oh, it filled it. Sorry, that is a bad habit of an experienced seasoned stenographer. I stopped there because that's where the valve click starts, and it fills in the rest for me. Don't get used to doing that. Just bring it up to the rest of the baseline. Sorry, don't learn from my habit. That is just, yeah.
I thought it was like a purpose.
No, that's just laziness from me. But, okay, so I'm going to print the picture. Sometimes it will give you the option of dragging this over to the beginning of the next LVOT VTI to show heart rate, because that would be from here to here would be 1 heart cycle, 1 heart rate. I don't know if that machine does it, but sometimes it will have you do that on this one. It didn't have me do that, but okay. Coming out of pulse wave 2D, coming back, we're gonna move along. That is all we need to do from apical 4 chamber. Now I'm gonna start twisting my indicator and rotating into apical 2 chamber. So I'm gonna do that here. You guys know all the direction for apical 2 chamber. So pretty. Okay, just gonna make sure it's perfect. 1, 2. 1, 2. I like that one better. I'm a big duplicate image person. Always like, I can do it better. 1, 2. Really like that. 1,
You're
2.
counting to, when you take a picture, is it going to take a picture of
It's going to take a picture of the last 2 that I counted, and that's what all the machines are set to do. Yeah. I asked you guys about that at the beginning of class because I was like, I feel like that's the best learning tool to have it set to retrospective capture, and I feel like it's still my preference. So I'm taking the same thing. I'm sorry I didn't explain this, but I decreased my depth on the LV because I'm doing the same thing as 4 chamber. I'm looking for a Simpsons biplane. So I just picked 2 that I really like, end systole and end diastole. I'm gonna go back into calc, E volume. Now it's gonna be 2 chamber and diastole. It's gonna put my points here. I'm actually really pleased with this right away. I'm just gonna take it. And now I'm gonna get my pointer out of the way, scroll forward to end systole of the same cycle. Calc, apical 2-chamber. See everything. Look at this one. I like it. Print. Okay, now it gave me some EFs over here. And some volumes. Pretty good.
What's our EF?
63%.
Nice.
Gorgeous. Okay, I'm gonna unfreeze. I'm gonna go back to 2D. That is all we have to do. Oh, just kidding. We have to do a LA volume from 2-chamber too. So I'm gonna go back to a normal depth. I'm gonna zoom in now on the left atrium, and we're gonna do a volume measurement of the left atrium. So let's go zoom. So I'm gonna scroll back. Hello.
Hi.
I'm doing a little demo. Permission? Yes.
Oh.
All is consensual. Okay, now I'm gonna go back into my calc package, and I'm gonna go back into LA volumes. The only one we need still is this 2-chamber. I'm gonna begin at the mitral annulus, and I'm going to trace. Do. And now when I click, it's gonna offer me that option to bring my LA length. And I'll just measure at the furthest point away. Print the picture, and then we are done for 2-chamber. I'm gonna go back to my full depth, and now I'm gonna rotate into 3-chamber. So continuing in the same direction.
You're gonna with the 3-chamber. You're continuing to go counterclockwise.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, just
Same
making sure.
direction. Yeah. Great question. Same direction. So just a little rotation until you start to open up that aortic valve, and it's gonna kind of look like a reversed or like a twisted parasternal long axis. Maybe come forward just a tiny bit more. I love that. That's great. Yep, I just kept twisting in the same direction of 2-chamber. I'm going to move my 2D position a little bit. I'm going to decrease my depth. Bring my focus up. Okay, love it. Now, took a moving image. Now I'm going to decrease my depth again. I'm going to focus on the LV. We do not have a volume measurement to take from this, but we just want to focus on the depth because we can see wall segments from this that we can't see from 2-chamber and 4-chamber, right? You guys remember that from now learning your wall segments.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody want to tell me what wall segments you can see in this view, or not ready for that one?
I think I can see the anterior septal segments,
Great.
and then the inferior free wall segments.
We're going to talk a lot about wall segments with Jeopardy, don't you worry.
Did I get those right though? Just the inferior ones.
Good job. Okay, so now we are going to decrease our depth. We just took a decreased depth picture to focus. We don't have a measurement, but we just are showing that one. I put my depth at normal again, and now I'm going to zoom in on the mitral valve. I don't know why it doesn't ask you to do this from 4-chamber, but it just wants you to do this. Your final exam, I didn't change any questions. It just wants you to do this in this view. So I'm going to take my zoom box, zoom in on your mitral valve, and just take a nice picture. It's so pretty. I might change my box to be a little bit lower. So while still zoomed, you're going to put color on your zoomed mitral valve. So kind of the same idea. You just want to see color really up close. And I can take that picture. Now I'm done on the mitral valve. I'm going to come out, take color off. I'm going to do the same thing for the aortic valve. So now you're going to 2D zoom the aortic valve. Take a picture of it first with 2D just moving. And then you're going to put color on it while still zoomed. Ready? All done. That's your final.
That's it?
Feeling good?
Some color. You don't finish
That's
your
it.
Simpsons biplane doesn't require 3-chamber.
No, it's just
Oh.
not. No, it's just biplanes. So, 2 planes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, biplane. Duh.